So he's trying to push me out of the doorway. He ends up pushing me down onto the ground, and then he drags me by my hoodie into the kitchen. And while he's dragging me into the kitchen, he literally says, "You're the second girl I've had to do this to." But still, at no point in time did he hit me or punch me or make me bleed or anything. So I don't even know if any of this is abuse.
If someone is dragging you across the floor with a hoodie on, with one not on, dragging you across the floor, yeah, it's abuse. It's a young woman asks if it's abusive when a man pulls her off the bed, hurts her knees, or drags her into the kitchen by her hoodie. Yes, it's abusive. But today I'm going to do a handle with care quiz where we're going to be discussing this, coming with select all, another select all that apply. I like doing select all that apply. They're pretty cool. With outcomes and solutions to this young lady. She asked a question and I'm here to answer. So we about to get started. We got to get started. Of course, my room, I have my weights, my shoes, and my videos ain't gonna be perfect, y'all, but I just like getting on here and doing my thing. So let's go.
Advice, and I need someone to tell me if you feel like this is abusive behavior. Over the past 2.5 months, I've been talking to a guy that I really liked. Like, I really liked him. Things are really great in the beginning, but isn't that how they always start? And I was super happy. It had been so long since I'd been that happy. But as some of you know, I'm moving out of the country soon, and he knew that from jump. Like, from day one that I met him, I told him that I was moving out of the country, and he told me that he wanted to help me any way that he knew how to make my transition to the other country easier. My lease was going to be up before I went, and I really was going to have nowhere to stay, so he offered for me to stay with him. And so I did. I also had nobody to sell my stuff to. Like I had a 75-inch TV, a sectional couch. I had so much expensive stuff that I was not able to sell, and I was just gonna have to either toss it or give it to Goodwill or something. But I ended up giving all that stuff to him because he said that he would pay for the rental truck, which he did. So he has all of my stuff right now. So I decided, okay, cool, yeah, like, I really like you, things are going great, you seem like a really great guy, so I will come stay with you until it's time for me to leave. It seems like after I moved in, there was like a switch. When we would get into arguments, he would get really mad. And if he got so mad to the point that it was making me uncomfortable and I didn't want to engage in the conversation anymore, he would get madder because he wanted us to have a conversation about it. The first red flag was I was driving him to his parents' house. He has a car, but you know, we just chose to drive my car. We're literally on the same street as his parents. So he ends up taking his house key off my key. He ends up going to his dad's house and he's like, you're not going back into my house. So now I have nowhere to stay. And I just stay sitting there for maybe like 20 minutes and I drive around. I end up calling him. He's like calmed down by that point and tells me to come back so he can give me his house key back. After that, things kind of escalated. The next time we argued, I was sitting on his bed and I wanted to get up and remove myself from the conversation because once again, he was in my face being aggressive. Each time I tried to stand up, he'd push me back down onto the bed. But still, even at that point, I'm like, okay, like that doesn't seem like it's like abusive behavior. Like he's not hitting me. Fast forward to the next time we argue. He pushes me again multiple times, but this time I'm standing and he shoves me so hard multiple times that I almost fall to the ground. But still I'm like, okay, but like, that's not like the worst thing that could happen. Like he's still not hitting me. The next time I'm laying on my stomach on his bed trying to take a nap, but he wants to argue in the background. And since I'm not acknowledging him and I don't want to engage in the argument, he ends up coming into his room and pulling me by my legs off of his bed until my knees hit the ground, and that actually hurt. But still, I'm like, he's not hitting me. So the next time after that, which is the last time that he put hands on me, We were arguing in his room, or actually not in his room, like in the doorway to his room. I'm trying to get into his room because his dog's in there, and his yelling is making his dog really uncomfortable. Like it's scaring his dog. So, and I really cared about his dog. So I wanted to like take his dog and bring him to the backyard with me so he could be out of that environment of all the screaming and yelling. He didn't want me to go into his room. So he's trying to push me out of the doorway. He ends up pushing me down onto the ground, and then he drags me by my hoodie into the kitchen. And while he's dragging me into the kitchen, he literally says, "You're the second girl I've had to do this to."
Okay, the reason why I want to do this video, the video is not going to be this long, but I really do feel like some women, and especially younger women, don't know the difference if it's abuse or not. Because, and even some men, this is not a man or woman thing. Because if you notice, she kept saying in the video, is this abuse? I'm going to go over all different types of abuse real quick in a select all that apply format. Remember, guys, more than one answer can be correct. Drop down in the comments. Tell me what letters you picked. At the end of the video, I will go over which ones is right and which ones is wrong. Here we go. A, physical, hidden, dragging, pushing. B, emotional, manipulation, isolation, gaslighting. C, verbal, name calling, threats, constant put downs. D, financial, controlling money, prevent independence. E, disagreeing in a relationship sometimes. So what I just did, just went over all forms of abuse. Like I said, drop down in the comment section. I will let y'all know the ending results, which ones was right, which ones was wrong. Okay, so but now what we are going to do is we're going to go over the outcomes of accepting that type of behavior, those forms of abuse. Okay. Long-term trauma and loss of self-worth. That is true. Your self-esteem starting to get a little low when you're being abused all the time. You feel like you're not worthy. So that is true. Cycles of silence and staying in unsafe relationships. You done got used to being abused all the time. So you start thinking, oh, okay, you know, me getting hit upside my head, that's okay. So you stay silent. You don't even try to argue back. You don't even try to fight back. You just deal with it. So number 3, normalizing toxic behavior for future generations. If you have a kid with that person, that is going to, whether it's a girl or a boy, that will trickle down to that generation because they think, okay, my mama hit my daddy all the time upside his head, so I'm supposed to hit him all the time upside his head, or my daddy hit my mama upside her head all the time, so I start hitting her upside. That's normal. They did in my relationship for 18 years, so you just shut the F up and you deal with it. That's what happens. It does pass on to generation to generation. So that is the outcome to that when you don't know. For that that young lady, she kept saying, she was saying that, is that abuse? She was asking a question. So I'm pretty much answering her questions. When you don't know or you accept the outcome of that abuse, those are the things that you will start normalizing and picking up. Those are the outcomes of that. Okay, so we're going to go to solutions. I'm trying to hurry up and do this video. The solutions is recognizing all forms of abuse, not just physical. That means when you recognize somebody is being verbally abusive to you besides hitting you, any sexual abuse, call it out, get away from it, 2, speak up and don't normalize harmful behavior. I just pretty much said that. So you don't normalize that. You let it be known, you abusing me, you hitting me, I don't like this. 3, build safe and exit and support systems. If you have a best friend, if you have people at school that you could talk to, if you can talk to even a stranger, but they're not per se a stranger, but somebody that you respect and you go to, let them know what's going on. I always have a support system. Number 4, protect peace and self-worth before protecting the relationship. When you are in an abusive relationship and you're protecting that abuse and it's got on your mental so bad, y'all know we are in times where mental health is very important. You want to not protect that type of relationship because it can be on your mental so bad that, hey, you might not even want to be here no more. So you cannot protect an abusive relationship. So those are the answers. I mean, those are the solutions and the outcomes to that. Okay, so we're going to quickly go over this because I don't like spending a lot of time doing videos. I just don't like real long form videos. Don't know why, I just do not. So let's go over to select all that applies the correct answers. A was correct. Physical hitting, dragging, and pushing, that is a form of abuse. So if you got A, that is correct. B, emotional manipulation, isolation, gaslighting is a form of abuse. If you got B, A and B are both correct. C, verbal, name calling, threatening, constant put downs, that is a form of abuse. So that is correct. So financial control and money preventing independence, which is D, that's a form of abuse. So if you got A, B, C, D, those are all correct. It's a select that apply question. So more than one answer can be correct. But E, let's take a look at E. Disagreeing in a relationship sometimes. Disagreeing in a relationship sometimes. That is E, that is wrong. Disagreeing, you can disagree with coworkers, you can disagree with friends, you can disagree with families. You know, people are allowed to have their own opinion about different things. So E is most definitely wrong. Disagreeing in a relationship is not a form of abuse. So y'all, anyway, until next time. I told you I don't like really long videos. So what do, y'all? I handle women with care, especially blacks women, but I handle women with care. I hope y'all like that interactive video. I am so glad I got some more subscribers. Thank you and thank you and thank you again to whoever's watching my videos. Till next time.